Baltimore wins this game 41-10. I feel like it was closer than 41-10. I think we'll dig into that a little bit. But Baltimore's top 5 graded players here from this game. Wide receiver Zay Flowers at the very top of the list with a 94.5 overall grade. Massive day for him. Guard Patrick McCarry with a 90.8 overall grade. Safety Kyle Hamilton with an 88.4. Safety Ardarius Washington an 85.5. And then center Tyler Linderbaum with an 85.3. Quarterback Lamar Jackson a 93.0 grade in this one. On Denver side of things, linebacker Quan Alexander a 92.4 grade. Hell of a day from Quan Alexander there. Wide receiver Cortland Sutton a 79.0. Edge rusher Nick Benito a 76.9. Offensive tackle Garrett Bowles a 71.1. And then edge rusher Jonathan Cooper a 67.5. Bo Nix in this game a 63.2. So not the worst, but certainly not the best. Dalton, stat that told the story here. What do we got?
So the Ravens, this was, I thought this was just a game once we saw it that the Broncos, more power to them. They're having a great season. I would just, if I'm the Broncos, I just toss this tape out the window. The Ravens, the way the Ravens came out and played, they weren't beating them.
And I think that you're right. And my stat that told the story is Denver's first quarter missed opportunities because, again, this game ended 41-10. I thought it was a lot more competitive than 41-10, but it just got to a point where the scoreboard got away from the Broncos, and it really started in the first quarter because Denver's first possession of the game, you remember, I think it was the second play of the game, it's a tip pass that's an interception. Okay, well, what are you going to do about that, right? I mean, it's just one of those plays where the ball does not bounce your way, interception, goes straight to Baltimore. The second possession for Denver and the third possession, both of them get across the 50 in areas where on fourth down you should go for it. It is more advantageous for you to go for it. And in both occasions, they turn the ball over on downs. So at that point, there wasn't a lot going on for the Ravens offense. But to your point, they started to heat up. And it's like, okay, well, you had these 3 bad possessions from the Ravens, or at least limiting possessions from the Ravens, and you didn't do anything with it. You had the turnover on downs, and the turnover on downs. And at that point, it was like, okay, floodgates time. And then it was like touchdown, field goal, touchdown from the Ravens. And there was no chance that they were going to keep up at that point. So I actually do think that the Broncos were closer to the Ravens competitively in this game. It was just sort of like you said, just kind of throw out the tape. Like it was just a game that you were not destined to win this football game.
When the Avalanche gets going for Baltimore,
it's tough to stop.
I think that's the other Denver team.
The other Denver team.
Sorry,
got me. No, you're right. Got it. Okay. Sorry, I forgot hockey season just began. Good call. Anyway, good stuff. Hey, Nate McKinnon, great player.
Hey, there you go.
See that?
Proud of you.
I don't know Nate McKinnon, Cale Makar, all that stuff.
Wow, he names 2 of them. Now you're just showing
you remember
off.
him beating the Lightning.
Okay, all right. Start talking about this game.
Anyway, Baltimore, 89.4 offense grade as a team. That's their highest in a game since, remember Lamar's first MVP season when he pulled the famous spin move here in Cincinnati? That's their highest offensive grade since that game. And
against a great defense. Against a legit great defense.
Fantastic Denver defense. Yeah, this was just, I mean, Derrick Henry, another 100-yard day. Lamar was great again. What was it, a 93-point-something grade. Zay Flowers is my most impressive. I think this is a special football player that's really coming into his own. 5 catches for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns, 94.5 receiving grade. Zay Flowers, there's been a couple of weeks, I should say, this year, where the way Zay Flowers has played has made me think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. Because this is the type of guy.
Well, that's the receiver they needed.
Right. It's the guy I know they just traded for Deontay Johnson. They have all the tight ends. But the elite perimeter threat is something that they really haven't had the entire time that Lamar Jackson's been there. If Zay Flowers is going to be that guy, that's the one that I go, okay, now they're really two-dimensional all the way out to the sidelines, inside, outside, between the tackles, wherever. I mean, at 7.3 yards per play against a defense like this, it's just silly. I mean, the Ravens, their offense just had a day that you don't forget. And if I was jumping to most disappointing, the Broncos, 29.5 team coverage grade. Obviously not very indicative of what their defense has been. That's actually right in the territory of when they gave up 70 to Miami last year. So, again, Ravens offense had themselves an all-time day. Broncos throw away the tape, move to next week. They're obviously better than that on most weeks, but sometimes a great team just has a day like this that you can't stop.
Yeah, my most disappointing was I was just highlighting Riley Moss. I think it's probably unfair, though. I mean, he had a 31.9 coverage grade in this game, gave up 3 catches on 3 targets, 33 yards, and a first down allowed. But it wasn't a great day overall for the Broncos coverage-wise. Most impressive, though, I'll shout out Patrick McCarry, who was on that top 5 list. He had an 88.5 overall blocking grade, 73.5 pass blocking grade this season since kicking inside from that right tackle spot to the guard spot. So he's just very clearly much more comfortable as a guard, and the Ravens' offensive line looked shaky through the first 4 weeks of the season. Now it feels like they have really settled in. They're becoming a really strong and cohesive unit. So, man, you watch Zay Flowers and feel like this team can win a Super Bowl. I'm watching the offensive line now and feeling like this team can win the Super Bowl because I felt like through the first couple of weeks that was going to be something that was going to hold them back. We talked about that with the Houston Texans. We'll kind of end the show talking about what Houston did on Thursday Night Football, but I don't feel that way about the Ravens anymore. Now I legit, as if they weren't before, their Super Bowl case got stronger, I think I should say, with the new look offensive line that they have. Seth, any takes before we move on?
Yeah, so the offensive line, I thought that there was a chance that this offensive line tanks their whole season. Obviously, that hasn't been the case. They've got better individually. You said moving McCarry to guard and stuff like that, and Rosengarten being better than we thought after week 1, for sure. But a lot of that is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, when he's playing quarterback, teams mush rush him. Like, they don't come full speed at him because if you do, you're allowing a big scramble or a big play down the field. So he helps you. Like, those grades are partly on the back of Lamar Jackson's kind of aura. So I just wanted to shout out that. The average time to pressure for teams facing the Baltimore Ravens is always extremely low, and that's Lamar Jackson's aura.
Can you get us some sort of aura metric for our pass blocking stuff?
Yeah, I have it. I'm working on it.
You have the funnel metric, and now he's got to figure out. He's got to put a bow on the funnel metric, and then he'll get to the aura metric.
Oh, good call. Yeah, all right, that's next.
He'll figure out whether momentum is real.
Can we go? Is there a way? Can we get pass blocking grade without aura? Is that possible?
Everything has aura on it.
I was going to say, I don't know if you're using that. I don't know if you're using that phrase correctly, which wouldn't surprise me since it feels like it's a TikTok thing. And
I wouldn't have any idea.
You don't feel like a big TikTok guy.
No, I'm not.
Hope I'm not,
I don't
throwing any strays at you like that. We got to get you on TikTok. There's some good stuff in there. Cooking videos, travel videos.
I don't have time for it.
Some funny videos.
You know what I'm into? You know what I'm into these days?
On TikTok?
Well, Instagram, the reels, whatever video.
I'm terrified to ask, but yeah, go ahead. Don't get fired. Don't get fired.
No, it's okay. I'm into this is so stupid, all this shit.
All right, don't get fired.
Like AI, okay? So there's people who do this very basic AI stuff where it's you show me a fusion between a bear and a shark, and then they AI that shit together, and I cannot stop watching it.
Damn.
It's so
they got your ass.
They got my ass so bad.
That's bad. That's peak.
That's so
peak
basic.
Scrolling right there.
You need that with Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler.
Exactly. That's what we need, the fusion. And there's stuff
Who's the fusion football player between Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler? We don't have to sit here and talk about it and think about it in silence, but maybe the chat can let us know too.
I think it's Deebo Samuel.
Wow.
That's a good one. No, I think it's Deebo Samuel.
At its best. Its best Deebo. I was at South Carolina this weekend when they played Texas A&M, and I saw Deebo, and let me tell you, truly could not that I have the physical ability even to do this, but couldn't pay me enough money to try to tackle that dude. He looks like you are tackling a brick wall. Just by looking at him, it feels like it would hurt if you were if you just gave him, hey, what's up, Deebo, and you gave him a little punch on the arm, your hand would hurt. That's what it looks like.
I believe that.
And that's why Kyle Shanahan basically just gets the ball in his hand in any way, shape, or form.